honest, you don't have to be an immigrant to be someone out there that don't have a job today because you can't get hired, either because of self-belief or the belief of the person that is in the hiring power. And again, it's not always you, it's for the most part the other person. And people say, no, it's you, it starts with you. I get it. And I always tell, I've knocked on doors, I've pushed doors, I've created doors, but let me tell you something. If you know that there is someone on the other side of the door and you're knocking, there's no guarantee they're going to open the door for you. So how is that you then? You did your part, you knocked. So don't blame yourself. The point is keep going and keep going. And
The Collaborative Entrepreneur. Hey guys, welcome back to the Collaborative Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Tracy Currington. And on this show, once again, we are building partnerships that can help grow our business. And I try to bring in guests that are entrepreneur in the entrepreneur space, that are doing something that I think is interesting or that I think will definitely serve you. And the guest that I have on the show today is definitely going to, I have no idea where we're going to go because there's so much that we have in common for the space that we're in together. When I review her history and what she's been doing for the last at least 15 years in the space that she's in, and then what she's doing right now, it's just amazing. So if you've ever seen a person like this, that you wanted to delve into their mind to find out what are they doing, where are they going, how are they doing things, then you have come to the right place, because that's what this show exists for. We want to bring people on here that we can share value with you, that we're like-minded together and grow. And I have on the call today an entrepreneur who is just like that. It seems to be that in the last 10 years of her experience, a lot of real estate, a lot of investment, books that she's been part of launching and authoring. She's a director of a business development. There's just so much. I really just want to just dive into it. Also, TV host, associate producer. There's just a lot of things that she has done in her life. And I know our conversation is going to take some twists and some turns, and we're gonna dive deep, and then we're gonna come back up, resurface, and jump into something else. And so we're going to discuss some of her business, the wins, how you can connect with her, and all these things along the way, what she's doing today. So get yourself maybe a cup of coffee, a hot tea, something that you can, a beverage, there you go, and get yourself something to write with, because you're going to take some notes. I'm ready to take my notes. I've got a remarkable. If you haven't checked out one of these, okay, we got a pen and a notepad. If you haven't checked out one of these remarkables, they are truly aptly named because they are remarkable. So if you're ready to go, we've got Migena Agaraj. I hope I said that right. Migena, so glad to have you on the show today. Welcome to the call.
Thank you, Tracy. It's a pleasure. It's an honor. And you are officially an Albanian because you pronounce it perfectly.
Ah, great. Wonderful. So give us that backdrop right there, since you've already brought up Albania. Tell us about your backstory. Give us a little backdrop about Migena.
Yes, and I love starting by saying that I was born and raised in Albania, or made in Albania, or made with Albanian love, because I don't want people to wonder, I wonder where that accent is from. And what that does, instead of the people that are listening focusing on what's being shared, they're still stuck on that. But I'm just curious, about the accent.
Yeah,
and
right.
Humans are so curious. I am volunteering, and I am actually gifting you the information so we can move on, and you can actually focus on everything else, because accent is one thing, but then there's so much more that makes us human and so super cool. But the honor is all for you, Tracy, because everyone in the world has a voice, but not many platforms available for the voice to be shared, for our ideas and our stories to be told, that then these stories can inspire the next person, the next generation, and so on and so forth. So yes, born and raised in Albania. For anyone who doesn't know where Albania is, before you even Google it, it's a beautiful small country in the Mediterranean. We are surrounded by the Adriatic and the Ionian. We are neighbors with Greece and Italy. So I'm giving you a visual because it's very important to visualize it. I had a beautiful childhood, to the point where we even had a vineyard, made wine and these alcoholic drinks that then we sold and served to our clients at our little tiny restaurant. My dad is a carpenter, so I grew up in the shop and watched him convert the big trees into windows and doors and the beautiful lamps for the nightstands, and mom running the restaurant. So both my parents have been entrepreneurs. And 20 years ago, I moved from Albania to the Bronx. What a shocker, right? We're like, this is how we do it. Like, we just go straight into the crowd and figure it out. And then I started to work as a hostess in a diner. I had no legal status at that point. I didn't speak English. I spoke Italian because in Albania, growing up, we watched a lot of Italian cartoons, and automatically, as a kid, you're a sponge for languages. And I learned Italian. And if you're in south of Albania, you speak Italian, like southwest. If you are more south, you speak Greek because you border with Greece. And if you're up north, you speak Yugoslavian because you're bordering with that state. So pretty much Albanians are multilinguals, like between 3 to 5 to 7 on an average languages that we all speak individually. So the reason why I share that is because one may wonder, how can someone who doesn't speak English function in a diner in White Plains? So pretty much because the staff, most of the staff, the kitchen as we call it, the back of the house is Spanish. It was very easy for me to understand what they were telling me because I would convert it from Italian to Spanish. So I ended up learning Spanish before I learned English, pretty much. And and then from working 3 jobs, 100-hour weeks, no days off, Monday through Sunday, to going then to college when we got the political asylum, and going to school full time Monday through Sunday, and working in a very high-end restaurant in Manhattan Monday through Sunday. So I've always had between 3 jobs or 2 jobs. And fast forward, here we are today, Tracy. And there's so much more. But that's just a little bit about who Migena was prior to Migena coming into this country and how it started for me.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So there's a couple of questions. First of all, how many languages do you speak?
I speak 5 now. I would say 4.5 on a good day, because unfortunately there are not that many French speakers in New York. And I was at a networking event last night, and it's a United Nations event, and everyone speaks everything in that room. Because a tip for everyone who's listening: if you attend a United Nations event, please stick to English. And if you start speaking a different language, don't assume they won't understand you, because they will. That was a joke. That was a joke. But
yes, absolutely. Yeah, I get it. I'm like, so I was just thinking about because I know we're going to dive into how you connect with people so well and network so well. And of course, as Grant says, your network is your net worth. And just having that capacity. I think here in the States, I was born in Texas, Fort Worth. I moved to Seattle, moved to Ohio, and then I come back to Oklahoma. So I know how they speak in Ohio. I know how to speak. There's different accents, but they still speak English, or they say in the States they speak American, right? So I envy those that have the ability to, because of bordering other nations that were speaking different tongues, as children growing up, learning those language, having an ear for it, and that mind to be able to convert, like you said, the Italian and Spanish and everything. It's just remarkable to me. No doubt that's helped you a little bit in the connecting.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There's nothing more beautiful than when, especially as an immigrant, America is made of immigrants, but after a generation or two, then I feel like you no longer feel an immigrant, you feel more American. But for people like myself who were born outside of the country, when you hear someone even say one word in your own language, there is a different connection. And because I know that feeling, I can relate to that feeling, and I know how beautiful it is. Then personally, every opportunity I get, once I find out where the person is from, or even if I hear that they're speaking a language that I can comfortably communicate with, or even if I know one word in that language, that's the first thing I say to them. So last night I met with this a Brazilian soap opera movie star. He has like, I said, do you have an Instagram? He's like, sure. I said, okay, let's follow each other. He's like, absolutely. You had to see the reaction on my face, Tracy. I'm like, Henry. His name is Henry Castelli. I'm like, Henry, 2.6 million followers. I'm like, come here right now. Follow me back, like right now. Selfie time. Tag me because you didn't do things overnight. And I'm like, and obrigado. And I say thank you in Brazilian. He's like, oh, someone speaks something in my language. So, and then with the person from Colombia, I started to speak in Spanish with them. And then I have the Italians and I have the French. And even if I knew one word, and then with the Japanese, because the Japanese were there promoting this beautiful product. It's called like a heart monitor. Fascinating. So talk about United Nations, like very intimate space at the house of the oldest delegate for the United Nations, Gloria. And I mean, to bring it back to your question, like how do you connect through a language? I feel like there's something special when someone speaks to you in your own language. And that goes even for Americans when they hear an accent and you can tell, oh, you're from Texas, I can connect with you. You're from South, or you're from Brooklyn. I mean, I don't know if they have an accent there, but whatever. So that's an advice for anyone out there. You don't have to speak a full language, but even if you know one word, or Google it and say it in their language, and it breaks the ice.
Yeah, I was thinking when you were talking like that, you were kind of setting like, I don't know if you know this about yourself, like when you took us back to your home village of Albania, like you created a word picture. You created a picture with your words that I was like on a Mediterranean cruise, and I was going through the Adriatic Sea, and like I was just like this quaint village where you said, here's my father, he's converted a tree into a cabinet. And I was like, man, I just like you painted such a great picture. And then when you brought this into the connection of the words, I was like, yeah, I mean, it makes you almost feel like home. Like when like I've come home just in that little brief moment where you said a word that connects with me. Oh, well, that's a powerful, powerful tip that guys, you better be listening to that. If you're looking to connect in any other space, know how to speak the language, know how to speak the words, know your audience, I guess. Maybe that's be a better way of saying that. Sure. What about this work ethic? I mean, like you said something about the 100 hours. I mean, like this, no days off. Did that come from mom, dad? Is that something internal for you? Where's that come from?
It's definitely a combination of what's in our blood, who we are as Albanians, and very proud to share that we are hardworking people, and it's not about working a job, it's about working. And for us, working means you maybe have half a day on a weekend to do whatever, but the rest of the time you're working. Albanians don't believe in the 9 to 5. That's a concept that I learned when I moved into this country. And of course, I don't want to say I'm stubborn, but I definitely am very firm. I'm a very firm person. So when I was hired to work at this diner as a hostess and the hours were 8 to 5, my thought process is, but why are you limiting me to 9 hours? But then I found out that it's not 9 hours, it's 8 hours, because you take a 1 hour lunch break. I'm like, what a waste of 1 hour. I'm like, why would I want to take 1 hour and not make an additional $7 an hour? Because I was making $7 an hour as a hostess. I'm thinking that $7 times 5 days a week, or 6 or 7, that's like $30, $40, $50. Are you kidding me? That covers the bread we made our own bread, but that covers the flour we're going to buy to make bread that could last for another month. So I'm thinking, don't let a minute go by. But then it got worse. I'm like, if I take a bus at 5:36 and go in the Bronx around 7 or 8, I wasted an entire day. But if I am here at the diner, I can continue to work and pick up the second shift and then take the last bus, and I can sleep on the bus and then wake up in the morning. So I'm creating 2 days in 1 day. I'm like, why aren't people doing this? And they call it here double shift, but it's not like that was offered to me. I actually started to ask all these other hostesses who we call them senior, they were working there a lot longer than I was. And I would say, hey, Melissa, would you like me to cover your shift for tonight? Oh, sure. And then everybody found out that Migena could actually be available if any. And I never came across as, I need the money, please, can I have your shift? It was more, I'm here already. It takes me an hour and a half to go back home with the bus 20 from White Plains to Long. So I am here. If you have things to do, if you're going to school, because I wasn't going, and I could see that they were struggling, and they were struggling more for coverage because they really couldn't be there. But unless someone else covered for them, they couldn't go anywhere. So I became this, like the solution. I became the solution, like for these people. And they say, you want to pick up my shift Sunday? Next thing you know, I went from working 3 days a week that I was hired as a part-time, so they could see if I could work hard or not, to me working Monday through Sunday. And when there were 2 days at the diner that were empty, they had a restaurant about 20 minutes walking distance in Central Avenue. I asked the owner if I could be a hostess there those 2 nights because I'm already in White Plains and I could work there from 6 to 10 and they give you a family meal. So that's me. And then I had to go to college to learn English. And on the days that I was learning English here in the Bronx at Lehman College, I couldn't go to White Plains. So I went and I got a job at a bakery in the Bronx for 3 days, and I was making $3 in 3 days. For 3 days total, I would make $100. That was like 18 hours, I would make 100. So whatever that comes down to, I don't even know. My God, I have to do the math actually. So I never let a minute go by. And the work ethic goes from, but we're already here, let's work some more. Because if you work more, it's not necessarily you making more, but it's actually very healthy. It's so fulfilling. And I met more people and I learned the language better and I practiced more. And that led me fast forward to them allowing me to get trained how to carry a tray so then I could be a waitress and make more money. And at that point, it wasn't a matter of Migena proving herself if I could do it. It's a matter of, watch out, Migena is working tonight, there's going to be a wait list and people are going to want to sit on her station, because that's exactly what would happen. Hey, it's Migena working? No. Okay, we'll come back tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Because I ran the show. It's because, not because of my accent, it's not because I was better than anyone else at my job, because I clearly wasn't. I was one of the junior people, but it was because I gave myself permission to work harder, and then I asked, and then I created that perception, and then I had the opportunity to create that stage so people could see me in action and working. So then I earned it. I want to say that I earned it, and I worked very hard, and we eventually paid the $60,000 we had in debt to move into this country. When people say you move into this country and you start zero, I would say no, because there's a lot of people who started at negative 10, negative 20, negative 50. So we don't start at zero on the financial aspect, we start at a negative. But what something amazing that happens there is that I feel like every person that starts at a negative, Tracy, they're not startups on the other side, because the more on the negative you are, the more on the positive you are on the mindset of working harder, and you can pick up yourself just like that, because that's the only choice you make for yourself. And I feel that was a blessing, the fact that we needed collectively as a family, eventually, with mom making $5 an hour, my dad, when he moved to America later, he made $60 a day, and that couldn't even cover the rent for the month. So I would save my food from the diner, pack it for him and bring it home so he could take it to work the next day. And we were having cereal for years and years. I was wearing my mom's shoes at work, some rich lady's white shirt as a hostess. So I'm talking about doing all these things. And I feel that that aspect of being an immigrant and making it and honoring your parents' sacrifices, your ancestors' sacrifices, should be the only choice. And that's what sharpened us a lot more, the fact that that was needed. It wasn't an option. It was a necessity. And it's beautiful because I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for hanging out in my dad's shop and seeing how hard he worked all day and all night. There was no 9 to 5, and mommy opening the restaurant at 5 a.m. and coming home at midnight. And I was the person that made the bread, cooked the meals, ironed the clothes, washed the clothes by hand, and went to school and created that environment because my parents worked so hard. So when I moved into this country, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, where is the fourth job? Let's go. Because this country gives you that opportunity. So I went all over the place with this, but
no. I extracted so much from that. One thing that you were mentioning there that you alluded to, and I believe it so much, is that the middle class, I mean, like those that are, like you said, coming into the country, we're already at a negative. We got to grind, we got to hustle, we got to get out there because we know, because we're in pain, and nothing, I think, necessity is the mother of invention. And you're like, it wasn't an option for us, it was a necessity. So we had to get after it. And I was just thinking about like the classes, I mean, like if you're in the negative, or you're in like the wealthy elite and everything, like it's the middle class that really, they don't know, I mean, they don't hurt bad enough that they have to get out and grind like those that are coming in the negative. But they also, I mean, they don't grind enough that they could be at the wealthy status.
True.
And so it maybe our culture has given us this idea that 40 hours, that's enough work. You know, there's an adage that just kind of complement what you were saying. There's an adage that my father taught me when I was a young boy. He said, son, he said, in life, people are going to say, don't work too hard now. He said, don't believe them. You do not take that advice. That's the wrong advice. You go out and you work hard. So as a result, the people that know me, they know that like, hey, work hard in the morning. That's going to be my adage is work hard, work hard. You know, when my kids go off to work, work hard, because that's what you're supposed to. So I was extracting a lot, and so much of this, those that are watching this episode, I hope you're extracting these, because we've talked about, like, we've got an entrepreneur on the show. She's coming over 20 years ago into the States, connecting, hard work. I love how you said, become the solution. I can imagine that being the title for this episode, because no doubt, like when you're connecting with other people, and like there was something that you said maybe on the call when we were on the phone call, and I was just like trying to invite you to the show. I think you might have used the word go-giver or something like that. And it stuck out in my mind because you always hear a go-getter, right? She's a real go-getter. And like I heard you say go-giver, and I was like, ooh, that's interesting. So tell me about that, because I think that's going to relate to the connecting point, and like how you've become the solution for other people in connecting. Oh, you know who you need to know? You need to know this. And like, I was just thinking about you in a room, connecting other people, you connecting with other people. It's like what a mantra, become the solution. So speak into that well, wait, before you do that, tell me about the star on your lapel. Tell me about that.
Oh, this one.
Yes.
This is do you call it logo? I mean, I'm still an immigrant.
Yeah.
The logo. Okay. This is the logo of the TV show called America's Real Deal. And we are an investment TV show, or in other words, a crowdfunding of investment TV, because the executive producers have created an opportunity for business owners to present their businesses to investors that we call icons, or in studio investors or virtual investors. And it's not a competition, because once you're in the presence of others, you're always a winner. There's no such thing as being in competition. And then person may say, but there's only going to be one winner of the show. I absolutely agree with that. Yes, there's going to be a winner of the show, but what about the winner of life? You don't look at it as becoming part of the show and winning $100,000 back into your investment. Think about you getting that national and global exposure.
Right.
So I am a proud TV host for the red carpet, meaning when we conclude the season and we announce the winner, we host a premiere where all the business owners come together alongside with the celebrities, and I am the hostess of the red carpet, where I ask everyone about their experience on the show. And in addition, I'm an associate producer on the show because of my work ethics and my love for humanity in general. And this show is about connecting heart to heart, mind to mind, soul to soul. This is why it's called America's Real Deal, because we built a show for every American person, someone that's 18-year-old who may have only $100 in their bank account, who are not accredited, and they cannot invest in a deal big enough because of lack of financial resources. And now with the opportunity of the America's Real Deal through the Jobs Act, they can scan their QR code on the business of their choice as they see these businesses present to America through the studio. And they could actually be an investor in private placements. They can invest in tech company. And all I'm thinking is Migena moving here as a teenager and working 3 jobs. And when money wasn't enough, let's work some more and let's work some more and let's save. And the money, as we all know, depreciates.
Yeah, right.
I have so much love and passion for this show because I see Migena in every person that's out there watching on TV. Because let's be honest, you don't have to be an immigrant to be someone out there that don't have a job today, because you can get hired either because of self-belief or the belief of the person that is in the hiring power. And again, it's not always you, it's for the most part the other person. And people say, no, it's you, it starts with you. I get it. And I always tell, I've knocked on doors, I've pushed doors, I've created doors, but let me tell you something. If you know that there is someone on the other side of the door and you're knocking, there's no guarantee they're going to open the door for you. So how is that you then? You did your part, you knocked. So don't blame yourself. The point is keep going and keep going. And when I was approached by the executive team at a networking event, very randomly, where they're asking me if I'm on TV, because I still to this day preserve the European style of dressing, and it's very noticeable. I was joking, I said, I'm model wannabe. I said, I can't believe I'm in the country 19 years. Not a single person discovered me. I'm like, I've had it, I'm leaving, I'm done. I was being dramatic. And they're like, why? But wait, but if you want to be on TV, why are you at a family office event? Why are you around people who've raised millions, hundreds and millions and billions of dollars? And then I took them into this journey of, look, as a little girl, I pretended to have my own TV show. And when my mom and dad would be at work, I would have my hair brushed, because I've always had long hair. That's not a trademark for me. I would pretend my hairbrush was a microphone, and I would say, oh, this is the Migena show. Why are you here? Like that was me. That's me imagining. Now his wife is sitting next to him. She's Egyptian. She's taking mental notes. She's looking at me. She's smiling. I said, and of course you come to America and then you start placing those dreams in this shelf, and that's called the shelf of dreams, and it's collecting dust because I'm busy now having 3 jobs to support my family and practically survive. And I said, and fast forward, I am here because I'm a member of a family office club, because I believe in the power of connecting. I've always been a connector. So now here I am meeting people because I'm in the real estate side. They're getting dizzy, of course, because I was talking about this story and I got dizzy. And I'm like, wait a second, this is my story. Why am I getting dizzy? I'm like, oh my God, like it hit me. They go this way, I go that way, regroup at 12 o'clock. I had to travel to Albania that night to surprise my parents. They had no idea. They were there on vacation. Adam comes back and he says, look, we would like to speak to you about something. I'm like, oh my God, Adam. I'm like, guys, what do you do? They're like, we're looking for investors. I'm like, oh, hold that thought. That guy over there raised $100 million. I was on a Zoom with him last night. He doesn't know who I am. And this is how I'm speaking, right? You can see me now, I'm like going crazy. He doesn't know me, but I know him. Hold that thought, Adam. And I just met Adam. I'm like, Bradley, you come in here right now. His wife is like, oh my gosh, she just told my husband. And they're like half my age. They're kids. I'm like, I'm European, you're European, we're good, let's go. And then I said, you have to meet this guy. He's looking for investors. And selfie time. And where's your business card? Like, I don't know these people. I just met these people. I completely removed myself from the equation, and I'm just putting two people together, and I'm so happy. This guy leaves. Adam is getting more dizzy. I'm like, Adam, what do you do? He's like, we have a TV show. Oh, okay. What kind of a TV show? It's called an investment TV show. Think of Shark Tanks, but we don't have sharks. We have investors. I'm like, that's amazing. I said, you know what? I'm going to find you some investors. Oh my goodness, they're going to be so happy to have the opportunity to be on your show. And I'm thinking now, Migena found another opportunity. She continues to become that solution for her ecosystem, because now there is this platform that my ecosystem can benefit, and vice versa. This guy, oh my goodness, the honor goes to him, honor source, because he came up with this idea. So all of us could take our dreams to the next level, or give them life, bring them back to the surface, however you want to call it. And they're like, and we're looking, actually, I said, do you have a, like, what is it, a pilot? Like, what's the stage? They're like, no, it's actually, we concluded season 1. We're going to be on Fox Business. We announcing the winner, and it was September of last year, by the way, September 16th. And I remember because that was my plane ticket. So don't think I'm crazy. I just remember because of that reason, guys. Yeah, I mean, I'm good with names, like scary good with names and dates. I remember everybody's birthday, by the way. When I go around the table, I'm like, "What's your birthday?" And I that's another beautiful question that I ask my friends and strangers. So he's like, we have the premiere next month in LA, and we're looking for someone to run the red carpet and interview the guests. I'm like, amazing. Oh God, who do I know on TV? We have Mary Osmond, who is the MC of the show. I'm like, oh, I'm in New York. Who do I know at Fox? Who do I know at NBC? I think I know this guy who's a tenant at 75 Rock, and maybe, and I'm thinking Jimmy Fallon. I'm thinking, I need to talk to some people who know some people who know some people. That's Migena. I'm thinking, Adam, okay, hold that thought. I think I know someone. They're looking at each other and they're like, no, we mean you.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. I said, I'm Albanian. I'm skeptical. This is not how this happens. What's the catch? They're like, there's no catch. I'm like, there is always a catch. Give me the catch right now. Let's go. They're like, look, there's no catch. We're here networking, and we think you're awesome. I'm like, all right, let's be honest, Adam. I don't have TV presence. I speak silly. I have an accent. Are you out of your minds, you people? This is your baby. It's the first premiere. You're going to trust me, the mic? I'm like, seriously, what's the catch? They're like, in all honesty, this is why we want you to be on that show, on that red carpet. He takes out his phone and he starts showing me pictures he took of me at the event networking with other people.
Oh, wow.
He's like, look how you talk to this person.
Wow.
And that person is talking to you. And you're in that group. And you're in that group. He's like, you know everybody here. There's like 1,000 people here. I'm like, are you stalking me?
Yeah.
I'm like, what is wrong with you people? And he said, yeah, we kind of are. And at that moment I said, look, and his wife goes, you manifested this, didn't you? Because you want the investment, you want the real estate, you want the business, you want the global, and you want the TV. And guess what? Here, it's right here. Boom. All because you shared the story. I'm like, well, let's put it this way. Think about it one more time. They're like, let's have a drink tonight and let's talk about this. I said, no, I am leaving tonight. They're like, oh my God, you really are leaving the country? I said, only for a couple of weeks, relax, I'm coming back. They're like, look, we're gonna fly you to LA and take it from there. I said, yes, I'll be back before October 12th, I think it was, October 12th, which is exactly not even a month later. And I said, if you decide to go with someone else, I will kidnap you both. And I'm Albanian. He's like, we know you can, so we're not, no, that's it. We want to be safe. We want you to be on the show. So I was being silly at that point. So fast forward, I fly to LA. I told them I don't want contracts. I don't believe in contracts. I said, I'm interviewing you, you're interviewing me. We need to find out how we coexist in each other's presences. And if there's an opportunity, then we can talk about that afterwards. But I would never, ever want to be in an agreement before I honor Migena first and give her the opportunity to breathe and experience and live and enjoy it, because not all of our dreams are actually for us to live. Our dreams sometimes could be for someone else, and there's one way to find out. You go for it first. You be that leader, right? Lead by example, and you're like, you know what, this is not for me, but I have 5 other fantastic people who crush it in this space. And who you became, you again became the solution. You became the conduit. You became the glue. You became the global focus connector. And as I call it, you became the stronger source. And that's what I want to do. I want to become a stronger source. And the only way for me to become the stronger source is me showing up and connecting with the people. So fly to LA. And of course, I can't help it. I'm like, I got this banner. Give me the screwdrivers. Give me the tools. I'm in my Louboutins, my beautiful dress. Do my own makeup, by the way. I don't never colored my hair in my life. Like, this is 100% green organic here. Like, real everything. Don't do my eyebrows. And here I am in the red carpet. Like, talk about the courage. And then I'm fixing the banner. I have blood coming out of my fingers. And they're like, okay, ready to go. People are waiting. We're on a time crunch. I'm like, oh, let me go check myself. No. Just come from there to here. I'm like, oh, okay. I have no idea what I look like. They're like, great, stay like this. I stand in front of the camera, Tracy, and I forgot all the questions.
Oh.
I'm like, I don't know. He's like, what? I said, I forgot the questions. He's like, it's okay, improvise. I'm like, oh, I can improvise all day. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Showtime.
It's your gift.
It's so amazing that right after the show, they're like, you know what? You're freaking part of the team. How about you make an associate producer? And whatever message you want to take out of this story for anyone out there, it could be when you show up for yourselves, others will show up for you. Because when you're showing up for yourself, you're also showing up for them in addition. It's not just for you. So don't feel selfish, but it starts with that first step. And when you don't ask, the answer is always no. If you don't believe in yourself, don't expect anyone else to believe in you. But most importantly, when someone else is believing in you a little bit more than you dare to say out loud that you believe, but you believe in secrecy and you don't want to express it out loud, you grab that opportunity even faster and quicker, because that's you thanking them and honoring them, because you want the other person to continue to feel great, be great. So when you reject an offer, you're actually not respecting them and eventually yourself, because there will be a lot of missed opportunities. So never think that you're in that position where you're grabbing opportunities, that you're not opportunistic. When someone comes to you and says, I think you would be great at this, and you may never even think about that, give it a shot. Because the worst thing that can happen is you're learning something. So that's how I went from being a diner hostess to a TV host.
What a great story. Guys, you gotta go back just in the last 45 seconds to a minute 15, just to hear, she just dropped 5, bang, bang, bang. I'm in rapid fire, ta, 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 ta. She just put 5 statements that you gotta hear. When you don't ask, the answer is always no. Beautiful. When you show up for yourself, others will show up for you. Bang. That was she just dropped all kinds of gold. And there's so much in the story that you shared. And I don't know if you've ever used that phrase that you came on about become the solution. I don't know if you ever used that before, but that's what you are. You've become the solution when you were sharing about oh, who do I know? And then here you are, you're showing up. If I want to give, I want to give, I want to give. And they're like, no, Migena, we're not talking about them. We're talking about you. That's such a great, a Zig Ziglar quote. Remember, if you know anything about Zig Ziglar, master of sales, absolutely. Right? If you, you give enough value to other people, you give other people what they want, you're going to get what you want in return. And I kind of butchered his statement, but basically you're giving and giving and giving, and you're going to get what you want. You give enough to other people, it's going to turn around and they're going to give back to you.
And may I add something else, because I
Please.
think it's very important for the audience. in reference to this story with the TV producer, and it's very hot in here. My God, because I was traveling to Albania that day, and the event was in Midtown Manhattan, and I live in the Bronx. I didn't want to go to that event. I gave myself all of the reasons. Sometimes we call them excuses, but I was trying to reason. If I go in Manhattan, I won't have time to come back home and then go to the airport, And then literally I'm putting makeup and I'm staring in myself. And then I pause. And I was like, Migena, what is wrong with you? You are a member of the Office Club. You've gone on planes. You've been to Arizona, to Florida, to California to attend these events. They are 30 minutes away from where you live. And your excuse is that you have a plane to catch at midnight and it's only 8 a.m. Show up for half a day. Show up for 1 hour, but you show up because you always show up. Why aren't you showing up today? That's me now talking myself into this, because this feeling keep coming back. And I said, you know what? I'm going to pick the dress that doesn't wrinkle, put my heels on a bag, wear my flip-flops, hop on a subway, end up at Hilton. Oh my God, oh, Migena is here. Yeah, welcome to New York. This is my hometown. Of course, I'm in my element. And hugging and kissing, and I would go inside, and then all these connections, and then meeting with Adam. And then I was so upset that it was so beautiful to be in that space, but I couldn't stay until 5 p.m. I couldn't stay until 2 p.m. I had to leave after lunch. And this is something very important that Adam shared, which is important for all of us and for myself, and I know that. I said, Adam, I would love to have spent more time with you in Russia, because I said, let me tell you something, we just met, but I am that person that don't necessarily open the events. I always show up like half an hour late, because I'm always late everywhere. It's historically, and not because I don't wake up on time. I could be up for 5 days. I still manage to be late. I've missed planes. That's just who I am. And I love it. I love it so much. Oh my God. I giggle. It's funny. But I said, I close these events. I'm here all day meeting with as many people as possible because I love it. His response was, it's okay, Migena, because today you only needed to meet us. You can go to Albania now.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, you know what? You're right. Absolutely right. I only needed to meet you guys today. I'm going to have an amazing trip in Albania, because I'm already in LA. I'm already thinking about the dress and the heels and the questions and the camera and making my family happy and proud, because there's nothing more beautiful than when your children's dreams come true and the parents get to witness it in real time. So that alone, the fact that my parents could continue to be proud of me for another accomplishment, but not necessarily an accomplishment, just the fact that I'm there, I'm on TV, I'm holding that mic, that for me, that was a reward. It wasn't about the glamour being famous. Absolutely not, because I'm famous internally. Like that's my fame. The outside it's irrelevant to me. But yes, so when you show up at a networking event, virtual, physical, spiritual, wherever you are in the world and what you believe in, don't think that it's all about the quantity. Think about quality and honor that quality. And even if you meet one person, you're one person away from becoming a multimillionaire. You are one person away from giving your dreams life. You are one person away for you to discover who you truly are as a person, because let's be honest, we don't know each other fully, and we never will. So every day you chance that opportunity, meet one more person, because all you need is one connection.
Yeah. Good, brilliant. I love it. Okay, so you've given, and guys, you're watching this, but you don't even. I don't even think we've like hit the tip of the iceberg. There's just so much depth that we could go into. That you could. I mean, like I mentioned at the top, like an author, investing. There's just so many other things. There you go. Right. Boom. Great books. Okay, so we've only been talking about the connecting because, to your point, you are one person away from, right? I mean, so it's somebody that's watching it. They're one person away from the happy home, the marriage, whatever that for them, one person away from that business partner that's going to scale their bit, whatever it is. So, okay, you've helped us, like, I mean, you helped me as far as the connecting. You mentioned about remembering birthdays. That's like, I do my best to remember names. Like everybody said, well, I remember faces, I never remember names. So I know you've got a hack for that probably, but remembering names, remembering birthdays, showing up. I mean, that's number one rule of success. You got to show up. You show up every time, even if it's just for an hour, even 30 minutes, even for half a day, you got to show up. So you've given us so much stuff as far as like connecting with other people and the importance and the relevance of it. Let's suppose that there's a young person, young entrepreneur mind, or even an older person that's like starting over, and they know that, you know, like Grant says, who's got my money? That like there's a connection I need to make with somebody. What advice would you give them in preparing for making those connections? What is the preparation like when you're going to a networking event, or maybe just like, I'm just going out for coffee by myself, but I just want to know that always in my mind, there's a person I'm going to meet that's connected somehow to my future or whatever. Tell us about that. Like, what goes through your mind when you're preparing just to get out and be true to yourself? What do you have to prepare for?
The first thing you need to keep in mind is you are the only person who knows what's going on internally, in your heart, in your mind, and you know why you need to show up. But the beauty of it is that you don't know it all. You need to prepare yourself to discover a little bit about more who you are through that element of surprise, because you can be in this opportunity of a network and you could be one person there that is going to say something to you that you never even thought of that you were or you could be of value to. So you show up and you prepare yourself to have an open mind. That's one. You don't bring your headaches and your heartaches to any event, because people will remember the first time they met you, and after that, everything is justifiable. You also need to keep the most important thing in mind. I am Migena. The one person you can ever lie to in this world is Migena. You can lie to everybody else in the world, call them white lies, pink lies, red lies, I don't know, all the colors of the lies, to get out of situations, so on and so forth. But the most dangerous thing you can do to yourself is lie to yourself. That's dangerous. It's even criminal. So when you show up as your true self. And if I am Migena 15 years ago, 17 years ago, showing up at a birthday party for a friend and I was invited, at that moment, I was Migena, the hostess in a diner. And I introduced myself. I am Migena from Albania. I am a proud hostess in this diner. I'm earning and I am contributing, and I'm a great citizen in this country. The point I'm trying to make, when you show up in these networking events, don't compare yourself to others, because you're only competing against time. You're not even competing against yourself. And that's why showing up is crucial, because if you're competing against time, there's no time for you to even contemplate. You just take action and you go, but show up as yourself. If you just started in the multifamily like I did a year and a half ago, and it's global, and I say I am an open book, I literally mean I am an open book, because I went ahead and I created this opportunity, co-projected with a dear friend of mine. We brought together 30 women, 27 chapters. We have it executed beautifully. We launched it on August 1st in Dallas. Literally, I'm an open book. So however I show up in that networking event, it's also written here. So if I'm in the presence of the guy who owns $4 billion, like Grant Cardone owning billions of dollars in real estate, I am going to show up as Migena, who actually found out about multifamily a day ago, whenever that time was. Never, ever make up stories because you want to impress someone, because you're not impressing anyone. No one is impressed about anything. What they're impressed about the most is your honesty and transparency, because everyone will trust and verify, and you lose a lot of chances in life because you want to fit in and you want to stand out. And the way to stand out is not by the amount of units you own, it's not by the amount of books you write, It's not about the amount of podcasts you've been a part of. The way you stand out is when you honor yourself, who you are, and you tell yourself, we matter, we're worth it, we're just beginning. And one more thing to keep in mind, never ever say that you are a startup. Your LLC is a startup because maybe you created that yesterday. That's a startup because that became into an existence 2 weeks ago, 5 years ago, whenever. You as a human, you came into existence the moment you can remember yourself. It could be 5 years old, 7 years old. It comes back to that first childhood memory where you stood up for that friend that was being bullied, or for that cousin that was accused of stealing money from a teacher. That's me. That's why I'm telling the story. And then little by little, you learn about your character and your personality. So when people say, what do you do? Oh, we're a startup. No, you're not a startup. You're not. How are you a startup? You freaking created and inventing something. You started a long time ago. I don't know how old you are, but minus like 5 years, that's when you start up. So if you are a 30-year-old, I promise you, you started 25 years ago. I promise you, because life is not about you raising $100 million so you could be loved and respected. Life is about who made me who I am, that person. What made me who I am, that experience. How did I become this person through A, B, C, D, E? And if you are in a position, if you are in a situation when you feel down, because, and that was me again, I'm speaking to myself, where you have all the success stories of people who have multiple exits, owning this, owning that, and there I am, I'm like, oh my goodness, all I have is a job with a 6-figure salary, big deal. Took me 20 years to get here, 20 years, actually 18, because then I resigned on the spot. Pause for a second and go back in the memory lane, go back into your heart and remind yourself how awesome you are and how amazing it is for all of these people to have the opportunity to meet you, because you bring something unique to the table and you're there because you care for you and you're there for the right people, and it could be just one person. So if you are an entrepreneur starting today and you have no money, you have no friends, you have no family to support you, and I'm blessed with all of this, by the way. I have the most supportive family in the world. I live with my parents, I live with my brother. Go get it, absolutely, because guess what? We're not the only ones who are counting on you. You have a family that's counting on you back in Albania or wherever in Europe they are. You have a community that's counting on you because they believed in you from the beginning, because they kept telling you you could become someone. And guess what? You better become that someone because people are counting on you. So it's a huge responsibility, and take full responsibility for everything that you are, the goods and the bads and the ugly. Embrace it all and start by connecting with one person at a time. I am on this podcast because Tracy and I are part of the same ecosystem with the 10X. And because I was doing a book launch, I invited my close friends to attend our networking event. Tracy raised his hand. And the reason I accepted to be a guest on his podcast is because when I invited people, when I told people there's going to be this table, and I'm speaking in metaphor right now, there is this table and there is chairs. Tracy says, I would like to take one of those chairs and I would like to bring my wife with me. So that's 2 chairs. And the same thing for me. I raise my hand. Hey, you have a podcast? I would love to be a part of the podcast. Oh my God, you have a radio show? Can I be on the radio show? And by the way, I was on a radio show for the first time 2 days ago. Now, the point is, don't wait for others to come to you because people don't know you clearly. People are busy. Don't blame it on someone else if you're not a guest on a podcast or if someone doesn't know you. So for all the people, regardless of their age, who don't know where to begin, please focus one person at a time, one relationship at a time. Make it about them. Don't ask anything. Just give, and give some more. And I promise you, you will receive in so many other ways that you don't even know. Even when it hits you, you're going to be like, how did this happen? So that's my advice.
Boy, that's great. Standing ovation. Migena, how can people, if they wanted to find out more about you, how you could work together, or they just want to follow you, what is a great avenue or avenues that they could choose to connect with you?
Absolutely. I am very active on LinkedIn at Migena Agaraj. It's very simple. On all social medias, I am Migena NYC. Made it very easy. I also have my website, which is askmigena.com. Because if you ask me about anything and everything, chances are I may know someone who knows someone that could be of assistance to you. And please, nothing will make me happier than someone reaching out because they need something. This way I can continue to be productive and continue to be that solution. And as a result, I get rewarded as well because I was able to connect a couple of cool people who care enough to ask the question and never stop asking questions. So I am on all those social medias. And of course, americasrealdeal.com.
Yes. Right.
And we can talk about you investing in real estate. We can talk about you becoming part of our books. We can talk about you being that business that wants to be on our show. Please send me a DM, a message either on LinkedIn, Instagram, Messenger, all of those platforms. And please follow me on my YouTube channel. It's very, very, very light still because I haven't been as active there, but you get to check out posts from me and my Ask Migena TV show. I call it like a TV show, but it's actually a virtual, unedited, unfiltered show. So I am very much omnipresent. So you want to talk about books, investment, the TV show, the connecting, the networking, the speaking engagements, and I will also be running the red carpet for Miss Universe Canada. Talk about bringing women together and working so hard. You're like, oh my God, what was I thinking? And they're like, hey, how about you do this with us? I'm like, makes sense. But anyways, we can have like 5 other shows, Tracy. You are such an amazing host. I talk your ears off for sure. I know that.
Thank you, Migena, for joining me on this call. And I just want to say this to Migena and everybody else watching. Great podcasters, they come on the show, we're ready to learn too. And I want to always be a student. We got served today through Migena. So thank you very much. Thank you everybody who joined us on the call, viewed the call. No doubt you took away some nuggets. I'd love to hear back from you. You can reach out to me at Tracy at tmccoaching.org, O-R-G at the end of that, and learn more about me at tmccoaching.com or .org. You can learn more about me there. If you'd like to have more information about what we can do together, I'd love to do that. So guys, until next time, you got to connect with people just like people like Migena. Surround yourself with people like her. They can elevate your thinking. They can do so much more. Today, I have been motivated and inspired. And it's because of the people that you associate with. So connect with people like Migena, surround yourself with people like that. They will inspire and elevate your thinking. They'll motivate you to dig deep within yourself and be able to do more in service for others. Until next time, thank you for joining us on this call.
On behalf of Tracy, thank you for watching this episode of the Collaborative Entrepreneur Podcast. Be sure to like this video and turn on notifications for future episodes coming out every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you want to learn more about Tracy and the work that he does, you can find us at 180turnarounds.com. Also on all social media platforms under 180 Turnarounds. If you want to get in touch with Tracy about being on the Collaborative Entrepreneur Podcast, you can do so by emailing us at tracy@tmccoaching.org. Let us know the industry that you're in, as well as some wins and learns that you've had along the way. So until next time, let's win together.